Okay, I know guys, probably the best whip you've ever seen in your life. Hey guys, it's Jennifer and welcome back to my room makeover series. In my past 2 videos in the series, you guys have seen me repaint my room and put in all the furniture and all of the big changes, and then you guys saw me reorganize my room, organization tips and tricks and storage ideas. I would definitely recommend watching those 2 videos before you watch this so you're all caught up on how my room is looking. And then in this video, I'm finally going to be decorating. I'm showing you guys a bunch of DIYs, things that I just did to decorate, so stay tuned to see how all the awesomeness goes down. I need to stop. And then the 4th and last video in the series is going to be my final room tour, so stick around. I'm really proud of how everything turned out. I worked so hard on this. It's just the room of my dreams. Can you see my uvula? That's kind of weird. If you like this video, make sure to, you guys know the drill, like it, not just emotionally. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Turn on those post notifications too, because that would be cool. And if you do turn on your post notifications, let me know in the comments. You might get a shout out at the end of one of my videos. I don't know. We'll see. And without further ado, before I make any more awkward, cringy dance moves like this one, let's get started. So since I'm redecorating my room from scratch, I wanted to figure out what kind of theme I wanted to go for, so I headed over to Pinterest. I basically looked for room inspiration ideas and saved the ones that I really liked, and then I looked through the pictures and tried to see what was similar in all of them, and basically I came to the conclusion that I liked copper and plants and like geometric things and very bright white, so that's what I did. Okay, so the first part of my room that I'm going to redecorate is my desk area, and you can see my whole wall is just blank. My desk is kind of just, you know, plain boring. There's a lot of gold going on, which I wanted to change to copper. Since my color of choice was copper, I decided to spray paint everything on my desk copper. So I first did my little lamp. I took out the light bulb, and then I lined the inside with some paper so that I didn't get the inside sprayed with spray paint. I just took my copper spray paint and sprayed it all over. Oh, peep my bright red pajamas. That's awkward. With spray paint, you don't want to spray too much in one area at once because it will kind of build up and drip down, and you don't want that look. And this is what it looked like after it dried. Now I'm just spray painting my little geometric pencil holder that I made in a previous DIY video. It was my DIY desk makeover video, so if you want to see that, it'll be on the eye linked in the top right hand corner. But I just spray painted that copper. So once everything was dried, I just placed everything back onto my desk. So I screwed back in the light bulb into my lamp and then put it in the middle of my desk, and then I placed on my little geometric shape that I spray painted copper, and then also my geometric pencil holder that was also spray painted copper, and then I just put my markers in there, and then I also put a little aloe vera plant on there just to balance out the colors so that there's not too much copper, and because I was going for that plant vibe in my room. Alright, moving on to tackling that wall space on top of my desk. So on Pinterest I saw this really cool Prisma wall decor set, and I specifically wanted the copper ones, but it was selling for like $30 to $50 online, and I was like, I can definitely make this for a lot cheaper, so that's what I did. Alright, what you're gonna need are a bunch of straws. I don't exactly know why I'm jiggling these. It kind of looks cool. It doesn't look cool. Anyway, so for the first type of shape, you're gonna need 5 pieces that are 8 centimeters long, 4 pieces that are 14 centimeters long, and 2 pieces that are 5 centimeters long. And all of these measurements are kind of approximate. I kind of eyeballed them. So now time to assemble, and I know it might seem like it's complicated, but once you actually start assembling, it's pretty common sense which ones go together. So the base diamond consists of 2 long ones and 2 medium length ones, and I'm using some hot glue to kind of link the straws together, and I'm kind of just like gluing a dot on top and letting it fall into place. And then to go up, I used the 2 shortest ones, and I kind of held them until they dried. Then on top of those 2, I put a medium length straw and also held that until it dried. Next, you're gonna glue on the 2 long ones, and honestly it doesn't really matter which order you put them in. And then lastly, I just glued on the 2 medium length ones, and then I was done. And right now I'm just filling in all of the holes with some hot glue just so that when I spray paint them, there won't be any holes and it's kind of just one seamless shape. Alright, for the next shape, I used 4 pieces that were 14 centimeters long, 4 pieces that were 7 centimeters long, and 4 pieces that were 5.5 centimeters long. So for the base, I used 2 long straws, 2 short straws, and 1 medium length straw, and then I just glued those all together. Then building up, I used 2 short straws and held them there until they dried. And then for the connecting one between these two, I used a medium length straw, and then to fill in the rest, I just used 2 long straws for the long side, and then the leftover 2 for the short side. And again, I'm just gonna fill in the holes just so that we have an even surface. And for the third shape, I used 4 pieces of 14.5 centimeters, 4 pieces of 11 centimeters, 2 pieces of 12 centimeters, and 1 piece of 7 centimeters. So for the base of this one, I used the 4 longest pieces to create kind of like a square, diamond type thing, and then I glued them all together. Then building up, I used my 2 12 centimeter pieces, and then to connect those, I used my 1 7 centimeter piece. And then just build the rest using the leftover 4 pieces of straws. Pretty easy, pretty simple, and then I'm filling in all of the holes with some more hot glue. And there we go, we have all of our shapes. I actually made duplicates of the yellow and purple ones, and right now I'm just spray painting them all copper because I want them to look like real copper. After coating the front side, I flipped it over and coated the back side because even though you can't really see the back side, you can kind of see it when it's hanging up. Also, do you guys remember when I made that DIY geometric terrarium video? Because this is like pretty similar, and if you do remember that, you're an OG. So once that was dry, I took some clear push pins and pushed them into my wall, and I kind of arranged it in a way that looked random and not lined up. I don't know how to explain it, like just like free and not on purpose. Clearly, I don't know how to use words to explain. So for some finishing touches at my desk, I just put my fluffy coat on my chair, and this is my desk area. It's new, it's redone, and I personally think it looks like it came straight out of Pinterest. I mean, I'm really proud of myself. Alright, now I'm gonna tackle my bed area because it's kind of just boring and tragic right now. Perhaps the most tragic part are the pillows that I sleep on. They're kind of just like deflated and not existent. So I got new pillow inserts from IKEA. This isn't even like room decor, but it's kind of just like making over my bed. And if your pillows are deflated, I would recommend doing this because it makes a huge difference. Okay, now I'm gonna make some throw pillows, which I'm so excited for because I always love making pillows. So you've probably seen these pillows before, and they're from Anthropologie. They're really cute, but super expensive. So I decided to recreate these. So I got this 20 by 20 throw pillow cover from IKEA for like $5, I think. And then I got some yarn from Michaels. Basically, I'm just looping it around my hand a couple of times, like 4, 5, 6 times, and then I'm cutting off a little strand of that yarn and tying it in the middle so that it has these rings on either side. So it's kind of these like puff balls. They're just kind of like loops. Now I'm lining them up on my throw pillow cover, and I'm lining them up so that the loops are like facing each other or on top of each other. Moving on to the next section of the pillow, I am creating a braided piece of yarn thingamajig. So I took 9 pieces of yarn, and then I'm just gonna split them into 3 sections of 3 pieces, and then I'm just gonna start braiding, but I'm gonna braid all the way down the length of the pillow, and then I'm gonna tie that up using another piece of yarn. I'm gonna double knot that and then cut off any of the excess. And then at the top, I'm doing the same thing. I'm using a piece of yarn to tie it up and then cutting off the excess. And now I'm just gonna lay that on my pillow. I made a bunch more of those loops and also another braided thing. And now I'm just gonna glue that down in a line on the pillow. And I'm using hot glue for this. And again, I'm laying these down on the pillow so that the loops are facing each other and they're interlocking so it looks like it has more volume and texture. And then for the braid, I'm kind of just doing one line of hot glue and pressing it down. So for the second pillow, I'm doing a similar thing. As you can see, I have the little loop things, but I'm also just taking some strands of yarn and gluing them down like that. This is like a simpler version, and I still think it looks really good, and so I'm just gluing everything down like that. I didn't want to have 2 exact same pillows because I wanted some variation. I thought it would look nice, and now I'm putting my pillow inserts in there. I think they look really cute. They don't look exactly like the ones from Anthropologie, but I think they look look pretty similar, and I made them for so much cheaper than they are originally. And then in front of that, I just put my pillow that I originally had. I made a DIY on this. It'll also be linked in the top right hand corner if you want to see that. I'm also laying down this throw blanket at the end of my bed just to add some more to the bed because it's kind of plain and my mom says it looks like a hospital bed. So this adds a little bit of life to it, a little bit of coziness. It has these tassels on the side, which I really like. But yeah, this is my bed now. I'm so happy with it and I'm obsessed. Alright, so there's this kind of like blank empty corner beside my bed, and we all know how much I love plants now, so I'm making this like macrame plant hanger thing, and I just grabbed some rope that I already had at home. You can definitely buy some rope, it's not that expensive at all. I cut 4 pieces of 215 centimeters, and this length will depend on how big your pot is and how long you want it to hang. So I'm gonna double that by folding it in half so that I have this loop at the top. I'm gonna create a knot just by tying it, and then I'm going to take 2 strings and tie a knot. And then I'm gonna take the next 2 strings and tie a knot right beside that on the same kind of level until I have 4 knots in total. So now I'm gonna lay them all beside each other, and then I'm gonna take the 2 innermost pieces from 2 different pairs and tie them both together. And I'm gonna continue doing that for all of the ropes. And you should have something that looks like this. I'm just gonna test if my pot fits or not, and if it doesn't, you can totally move the knots up or down or whatever you need. Now I'm gonna measure it again, make sure it fits, and if it fits, then you can go ahead and tie your knot at the bottom. You want to pull this pretty tight just so that your plant doesn't fall out, obviously. And now your pot should fit in like this. Moving on to the plant part. So since this is going to be a hanging plant, I didn't want it to be a real plant because I would need to water it. So I got this plant from a yard sale. It doesn't actually look that good. It doesn't seem like one of those plants with the long leaves and long vines. So I'm gonna kind of DIY-ify this. I took this out of the original plant pot and I got this plant pot from IKEA. It was like $8 or something. And then to stabilize the plant, I just put in a bunch of folded up newspaper to keep it from toppling over. Then I'm just gonna spread out all the leaves and kind of mold them into the shape that I want that would look like it's a hanging plant. I also got one of these long leaf things from Michael's that's meant to look like those long draping plants, and I just stuck it into the pot. And this is just to add some extra length since the actual plant wasn't that long. Alright, so to hang it, I nailed this nail into my wall and put some kind of hook on there. I don't really know what this is. It was just lying around my house. And then I just placed my macrame rope hanger thing on there and then put my plant inside. And then I just kind of arranged the leaves how I wanted them to look. And this is how it looks like. I know the hanging leaves don't really look the same as the original plant leaves, but I mean, it works and I think it's so cute. This isn't gonna provide me any oxygen, but it's gonna provide me a lot of joy. I'm also adding a strand of fairy lights to my headboard because I feel like lights just make everything look happier and brighter. Lights definitely can just transform your room without putting in much effort at all. Alright, and that is my completed bed area. I feel like I'm living in a fairy tale garden. I'm just obsessed with it and I just really like it. It's so cozy. And it's the bed of my dreams. So for the final touches of the room, I decided to add another plant because I'm obsessed with plants. So I added the stool, which stools are actually cheaper than plant holders for some reason. And then I added this plant to the corner of my room. If you have a big space that you need to fill, try adding something big instead of a lot of little things. It'll keep the kind of clean look if you're going for that. So this is perfect for that. Also to my shelf, I'm adding this light box. I'll link this one down below, but I'm just writing hustle and create because, I mean, honestly, this is kind of basic, but I feel like I really need this in my life and I want to just look at this and be inspired every day to get up and create stuff and work hard to make videos, to live life, and this is turning into an inspirational speech. Yeah, that is my room. I'm so proud of how it turned out. Stay tuned next week for a room tour. I'm gonna give you guys a few before and afters because I definitely love before and afters, so here you go. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Shout out of the week right here. Thank you so much for watching, and that is pretty much it. I will see you guys next time. Bye!